video coming to you on May the 18th, sitting outside on my deck, recording a quick video of the markets and a watch list for next week. This is a chart of the Russell 2000 IWM and the 2040 weekly chart, which I like to use for longer term trend analysis. You can see that the last time we came down below the 40 period moving average, as I pointed out last week, in November of 2012. We've since come down and now we have a spinning top closed right below the 40 period weekly moving average. Thanks to Arthur Hill for pointing out the small cap sector Etfs, which we'll cover now. The consumer staples, as we can see, is closed right on the 40 period moving average, and the 20 is flattening out. MACD's pointed down. Small cap consumer discretionary, similar fate, spinning top sitting right on the 40 period moving average, and MACD is also pointing down, so momentum is still down on this small cap consumer discretionary sector. Energy faring better, a test of the 20 period and a bounce. The financials faring a little bit worse. We can see that the 20 period is turning and could be conceivably setting up a bearish cross to the downside, with MACD showing no hint of turning up. Healthcare fared better last week, a close right at the 40 period after breaking down below, and we can see MACD is starting to show a hint with histogram moving higher. The small cap industrials had a really bad candle last week. We can see that this one is really underperforming for the most part, with MACD continuing to point down. Small cap materials, same thing, holding up a little bit better the past 2 weeks. IT, same scenario here. The tech shares on the small cap are looking pretty bad, and MACD showing no signs of turning just yet, with a spinning top, long-legged doji. And utilities, which fared the best out of all the sectors. As you would expect, defensive names have been doing better, so keep an eye on those. So let's shift gears for a minute and take a look at the comp. We had a spinning top and have been moving sideways for the most part in a bearish pattern. We're watching for this to continue higher if you're bullish and continue lower if we're bearish. Note MACD. The industrials continue to just grind higher, keeps testing these highs in an ascending triangle pattern. We'll watch for this one. MACD appeared to cross last week. Again, this is a weekly chart of the industrials. New York Stock Exchange Composite grinding higher as well. MACD moving sideways. The Russell we already covered. We're thinking that the Russell continues to break down, possibly test the 382. Watching this area right here on a weekly close for the coming week. Again, note the 19 months that have passed since this trend line has been broken, and we tested the 40 period, currently down at the 200 period moving average. In addition, we posted some Russell charts last week. Note this is the Russell weekly Ichimoku chart. We're looking at a target here which would correspond with the 382. Note where Chiku is right here, caught up in price. If this breaks down below price, that'll be bearish for the Russell on the weekly. S&P 500 spinning top. We got 3 out of the last 4 weeks showing indecision. MACD is drifting lower. Spiders on the weekly, we can see this support level that we're holding above. Chiku's above price, and Tiken and Kijun-sen both offering support. The 10-year yield somewhat lower. We're watching this level as well. As one would expect, there's a lot of focus on the 10-year yield and the 30-year. In addition, much has been made of the TNX 10-year yield and the TYX 30-year yields. With yields moving lower, of course, this hurts banks, right? And brokerages, which adds to the argument that defensive sectors could continue to outperform. If TNX and TYX reverse, equities should bounce. In either case, we'll be watching the bond yields for direction in the coming weeks and months. Friday was a decent day for cyclicals, though the ratio still points to more of same. When you look at the ratio of staples versus cyclicals, we can see that we're still in an uptrend. We need to break that trend if you're bullish equities going into the summer. Cyclicals should do better in an improving economy as institutions focus on earnings, improving in retail and consumer discretionary areas. So keep your ears open for surprises in auto sales, for example, and Walmart seeing increased traffic as part of the noise on CNBC for signs that cyclicals could be turning. The Nasdaq, we see Chiku is above price, so that's a little bit more bullish, and prices are cruising right along Tenkan and Kijun-sen with the Kumo down below. So this is looking a little bit better. We're holding Kijun-sen and on the weekly time frame. Looking at the Bollinger Band scan for this weekend, we have about a dozen names here that we'll go through alphabetically. The smaller the list, usually the more cautious that we are. Avis, car group you would think would do better during the summer as more people rent cars and go on vacations. MACD is moving sideways, not much of a setup here. Biomed's been on the scan for weeks now, finally breaking higher. MACD's cruising sideways. Cavium Networks hasn't been on the scan, breaking a descending pattern here above the Kirby. MACD's turning up, giving us a cross on Friday. Cisco had good earnings apparently. Bollinger Bands breaking higher on volume. MACD cross. Colonial Financial looking for it to continue to break above these highs here recently and get back above this Kirby level here. MACD's nice bounce. Forest Labs continues to consolidate sideways, tightening Bollinger Bands. Giant Group, Healthcare Realty, HR, nice pattern here breaking above recent highs. These Bollinger Bands should continue to expand. With MACD flattening out, you could be trading to the upper Keltner channel here before this thing flags out. Portland General Electric, utility names to continue to fare well. MACD's turning, and we have this Kirby level up here we can get above. Spirit Realty, this has been on the scan, was on last week, had a little bit of a dip here. On Wednesday, bounced off a lower Keltner channel, moving higher on volume. Back above the Kirby level, and looking good for a continuation. MACD's pointing higher, stochastics led. UGI Corp, this one continues to march higher. This was on the scan last week as well. Running a high tight flag scan, which we have been trading more increasingly. We can see we have 25 names here, and it continues to look good. Let's take a look at these for some potential setups. Amcor was on the list last week, looking good in the tech sector. We can see this flag. We had a nice move up here from February until April. We consolidated that move, and now we're moving higher. As we continue to test the 10-period EMA and the upper Bollinger Bands, this continues to move higher. Brazilian ETFs continue to look good. We broke out above this level here, came back down, tested that breakout, and now continue to grind higher. Gold miner shares moving sideways. Bollinger Bands are squeezing. Latin American shares, same as the BRZU. Came down, retested this breakout level, and now it's moving higher. MACDs continue to move sideways. Goodrich Petroleum, this is probably one of the nicer patterns. Flag here, breaking above that flag. Nice increase from 1328. A double within 60 days is what you want to see on a high tight flag as part of the criteria that you build the poll on a 90% or better increase within 60 days, and then you flag out. In this case, we're down. We pull back to the 382 Fibonacci levels, and we're breaking higher out of this pattern. MACD is starting to turn, slowly but surely. Halcon Resources, first time that's been on the scan in some time, a cheap stock. 380, built a pole, flagged here, and is grinding higher. Kingsway Financial, we're watching this one as it flags sideways after building a nice double Almost a double here from 390. Need to get up a little bit higher. I believe it's about 68% increase now from this low. We have about another week to do that. Petróleo Brazil found its footing and continues to grind higher here. We had an entry at 1635, got stopped out, and we're looking to re-enter this one again as it pulls higher. ProShares Brazil grinding higher. PRSC, very nice pop here, flagging out, consolidating these gains, and if this breaks above this level here at 43.35, the top of the flag, you could anticipate that move, but a break above this level would be bullish for continuation. RadNet, this is one of the names that we continue to hold on to. As it continues to move higher, it won't sell it until it does something stupid. So we have stops here, note the volume, and stochastic resetting for another move higher. We want to see this flag out with stochastics and MACD recycling, resetting up for another move to the upside on RadNet RDNT. Alright, so that's going to do it for me for the weekend. This is Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com. For you new traders, be sure to come check us out. We have a lot of strategies and tools for trading the markets. We also have a lot of videos here on the site. These top two here are really good for new traders to understand the box setup and the custom TTM scanner that we just presented, Bollinger Band Squeeze, TTM, and the high tight flags, how to use them. Okay, so check out these two videos right here. It should help you a great deal in your trading. Okay, I hope this helps. Take care, and we'll see you on Monday.